All right, we just hit that magical 10:05 time, so I'm going to go ahead and kick this bad boy off.
Okay.
We are recording it for other people who cannot be here right now who do want this information as well. And this is HomeSmart Coffee with the Broker. I'm going to share my screen with y'all now. All right, so I gave it away. All right, so it took. Okay, I see what it did there. All right, so we all know about Offerpad, right? This is no surprise, right? They'll do a guaranteed cash offer on your property. They take some fees, so they'll offer something like this, $393,000, that sort of thing, right? Instant cash offer, no listing, blah 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 blah. Well, we're gonna get to that in a minute. So 393, right? And this one's already expired. This was something before. Offer price 393, and then you got to look at the fine print here, right? Reduced service fee. So their service fee, which is, come on, let's face it, it's commission, 5%, right? Pre-local move. So now a lot of people know about that. And then repairs based on, they're going to do an inspection and then, probably beat them up on the repairs, right? And then their net price, right, which is before their other selling expenses, right? This doesn't include title fees or anything like that, is 373, 350. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to show you about this, right? This is something that me and Janice had discovered within the past week, and maybe y'all know, maybe y'all don't. So like this is a way to get like off-market properties, right? If you go to their website, you go to partners, go to agents. You see this down here on the left. Click on agents. So let's say you find like a for sale by owner, and you're like, oh my gosh, they won't list it with me, right? We've all been in this situation. Well, I'm sure a lot of us have been in this situation, right? They won't list it with me, even though they're super, super, super low, right? If I had the listing, I could sell it in like 3.2 seconds. So you could go through Offerpad, bring them an offer, right? And Offerpad will pay you 3% commission. Coolio, any questions about that? We're going to break it down and go through it a little further in detail, but any questions about that so far? Remember, if I don't get participation, I'm going to start calling y'all out.
No, but it takes time to unmute.
All right. So,
all right. So where does it say? Oh, I see down here. It says you get a 3% referral fee.
Yes.
How did you know that? You don't know what's in Offerpad until you open it up, right? There's no Offerpads for sale.
Right. Offerpad doesn't like list. As far as I know, they're just buying up properties to rent them out.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So, so you can, let's say like for sale by owner, let's say you got a listing, that they're like, I really don't want to deal with the muss and the fuss of, and this is just more convenient for them, right? Then you can bring them because they pick the moving date, right? It's not a closing date that may or may not happen or anything like that. Now, this is not going to be right for everybody, but this is another tool in your toolkit that you can say, hey, I can bring you a guaranteed cash offer at the listing appointment, right? And this is also another tool in your toolkit that, you could generate multiple offers, right? The market's slowed down a little bit. So you could say, hey, as soon as I get the listing, as soon as I make it live, I'm going to plug in all of the information, right? And now if you got the listing, if it's listed on the MLS, they won't actually pay out a co-op. You get the co-op of whatever's offered on the MLS. Does that make sense? So this 3% is only applicable if it's not currently listed on the MLS, okay? Or it's not currently listed. I mean, get MLS, right? I mean, for sale by owner is technically not listed, right? So, I mean, let's say I'm someone who moved here from Chicago and I don't have a lot of sphere of influence business, right? And I'm trying to generate business out of thin air, okay? Anyone can relate on this call? So I go through the for sale by owner, right? And I find somebody who's at a good price. I'm running the comps and I'm like, oh man, this person's like priced very well. If they only have their property listed on the market, you know, and then you go there and you engage with them. They absolutely do not want to list it with you. And you go, hey, I could bring you a guaranteed cash offer. How about that? Right? You bring them the offer, they accept it, they don't. And you tell them like, hey, if I were to list it for you, right, my transaction fee is only 6% or something. They're charging 5%, right? My transaction fee is only, 6% or 5% or whatever. You match what they're matching. And you say, I could get you X amount. Okay. But this is right here. You have this or you have this, right? What would you prefer? And you give them those two different options. But if they're absolutely not willing to sign a listing agreement with you, you can always bring them an all cash offer through Offerpad. Does that make sense? Okay. Offerpad doesn't know I'm doing this, by the way. I had found this just through my own research and playing around with stuff and everything like that. And I was like, oh wow, what a great way, again, Faith is from Faith and Dave, her husband, are from Illinois as well. So it's funny, we got so many Illinois people on this call. Anyway, so again, 3% industry standard. Let's just say you just do it this way. It's a for sale by owner or something like that, right? Get 3%, and then after we'll talk about the other ways, right? That you can potentially use this program if it's something you want to do, right? All right, Offerpad APP is a win-win situation for your client. They're gonna pay for, let's see, your client benefits, solid cash offer, no showings, no open houses, no contingencies, no double mortgage payments, right? This won't be right for everybody, right? Because it's convenience and you're paying for the convenience. Okay, but I do have one investor who is looking to buy like a for sale by owner, and they could only go up to 225. Well, I put it in through Offerpad, and guess what? Now they didn't do their home inspection yet, right? The investor I represented, they were waiting home inspection. They're like, nope, we'll take it as it is, and blah blah blah. And then Offerpad came through, like they wanted a higher offer, and the net offer was like 244. Okay, so after their 5% fee and everything like that, it was 244. So, and the client wanted 240. Now, client decided to change their mind, and that's okay. I can't help that. But again, this is another tool in your toolbox. Right? Extended stay, you can stay up to 3 days post-closing possession, and professional local movers paid for by MovingPad. Offerpad, excuse me, MovingPad. I'm closing on my house tomorrow. I'm thinking about my own moving. I need moving pads apparently. So yeah, business development. Let me see. Maximize your efforts for maximum results. Take advantage of Offerpad's expertise in how to build blah 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 blah. I mean, this is all on their website here, right? Again, it's a tool. Okay, overcome obstacles. Okay, so everyone gets the basics of how you can use it with like a for sale by owner type situation, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I've definitely, I don't know about y'all, but I've definitely approached for sale by owner. It's like they have a phobia of listing agreements, right? I tell them, hey, you can cancel at any time, any reason, blah, blah, blah. They're like, nope. I don't need a realtor to sell my house. I'm like, you don't need a realtor to sell your house. You don't need a car either. You could walk back and forth to the grocery store. It's just a lot less convenient, right? And you could get more done with your time. You don't need a realtor to sell your house. You're just going to make a heck of a lot more money, and it's going to be far more convenient. Now that the market's cooled down a little bit, before for sale by owner just had to walk out to the mailbox and like put a little Post-it note on it and say for sale by owner, and like they'd have people lining up with offers. Now, right, our properties are staying on the market longer. So imagine if for sale by owner, they might be willing to talk to us now, right? So this is another great option. So let's hypothetically pretend you have an offer. This is the property. Let me show you the property real quick. Okay, so Janice and I just listed this property yesterday on Greenmount. This is shameless advertising for my listing. Just kidding. Driving all the way there, Skies are beautiful. It's all sunny, white billowy clouds. And it starts raining. I'm like, really? So, like, okay. I thought you had 2 angles on the front.
Beautiful. Did you rehab that?
Yeah. This is the group that we purchased the home and then renovated it. Oh, there's a better. I think that's a better front shot. Okay. Either way. So you want to see the before? That's not the before. There's the before. Which, the outside looks pretty nice. We didn't do much to the outside. I just asked, do you want to see the before? Nobody answered. I'm like, well, you're seeing it. I don't care. So,
We were shaking our heads, yes.
okay. So it looks a little bit different, huh? Pink carpeting. And we're actually getting professional photos done today. Right now, actually, as we speak, the photographer should be there. Normally we do the photos, but they were insistent because of the list price and everything like that of getting professional photos taken. I was like, okay, it's your money. So anyway, I'm not going to show you all the photos. So I can take the photos of, come on. I can take the photos of my listing, right? And go to Offerpad and put a little more pressure on the other buyers, right? I can wait for an offer to come in and then submit to Offerpad and say, hey, I got an all cash offer, multiple offer situation, please bring us your highest and best. And then I'm pushing and getting 2 offers when I had, maybe 1 or none, right? Because if I get the offer before anybody else places the offer, I can put in the realtor remarks, right? And the regular remarks, hey, got another offer, owner's thinking about making a decision Monday, Tuesday, please get back to me as soon as you can. Please place your offer as soon as you can, right? So it's this simple too, okay? So I plug in the property address, says, are you the owner or the agent? I'm the agent, so I hit continue, right? I'm putting in my contact information. Let's see how quick I can do this. Oh, that works. Put in HomeSmart. Who knows the name of the company that you work for? Go ahead, there's no trick questions here.
HomeSmart.
HomeSmart, ding, ding, ding. Is it HomeSmart Florida?
Yes.
No. Is it HomeSmart Orlando?
No, it's just HomeSmart.
Just HomeSmart. Just HomeSmart. Okay. So if you're writing on your contract, Florida or realty or real estate, it's wrong, right? It's just HomeSmart. Now, when I call people and I'm introducing myself, I'll say I work for HomeSmart Real Estate or HomeSmart Realty. Okay. It's not in my signature. It's not in writing anywhere, but it stops me from explaining what HomeSmart is, right? In Illinois, HomeSmart is much bigger now, but in Florida, it's just kind of starting out, right? I remember when I left Illinois 6 years ago, I was like, what's HomeSmart? I saw someone sign or something like that. I'm like, what's HomeSmart? Is that a tech company? And I Google it. I'm like, oh, real estate? Okay, whatever. And then now, like, everybody I used to work with is a HomeSmart agent. It's crazy. Okay, what's the square footage of the home? Okay, so super simple. Just go back and forth, right? 1862. 1862. Continue. What's the year that it was built? 1969. Okay, it's definitely 1 story. Unfinished basement. Partially finished basement. What do y'all think?
No basement.
No basement. We're in Florida here, not Illinois. All right.
Yep.
Room counts as far as bedrooms. This is closet door window. Okay, so we got 4 bedrooms. We got 2 bathrooms, got a 2-car garage. Additions including garages, converted sunrooms, bonus rooms, and any other living areas. So this is pretty easy, right? We don't need to go through this whole thing, yeah? I'm gonna imagine y'all said yes. Yes. Okay, we don't need to go through the whole thing. So you go through the whole thing, you upload photos, right? In a perfect world, you want a picture of every single room. I know all you for sale by owner people who are thinking about using this for sale by owner are like, how do we do this? How do we do it? Well, number one, you probably want to meet with them, right? Look at the property, take pictures of every room, and then go back and upload it and do it that way, right? Or you can take the properties, the pictures off of Zillow and then upload it that way, right? In a perfect world, like if I was doing this for sale by owner, I would contact the for sale by owner, say, hey, I think I have an investor who wants to purchase your property. They'd be like, great, send me an offer. Be like, wait, have you ever bought a home that you didn't see? And they're like, no. Well, neither has my investor. So I need to go there and take pictures of the property to see if they want to buy it. Oh, just send me an offer. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works, right? So you're gonna fight with them a little bit. You get the appointment, you go there, and some people will and some people won't, right? Because a bunch of brand new agents with Keller Williams and stuff like that, they're just listening to what they're told, and they're just calling up these people and trying to get the listing, right? So by the time day 3, 4 of them being on the market, they're like, oh, no more realtors. Okay, so you're better contacting the for sale by owner who just came on the market, right? So you do all this stuff, you upload everything, and then you get an offer. Okay. Within 24 hours, the next day, right? So next day it comes in, hey, your offer is ready, right? It says, selected closing day between 15 and 90 days, right? Again, you can do the 3 days post-closing possession, right? No double mortgages, no open houses, no showings, that sort of thing, right? And then you click on the little thing and it takes you to the offer. You offer, and then, so this is what the offer is going to look like, right? Express cash offer. Okay, so, right, you gotta read the fine print, okay? In this case, I wouldn't tell the for sale by owner person that, and maybe it's just an off-market property. I mean, any off-market property really is a for sale by owner, right? So then it's $393, right? Reduced service fee, 5%, free local move. And then, I would just give them this bottom number here, right? The 373,350. That's what we can offer you. That's what the investor can offer you. Is still, up to a home inspection to see if, it's going to not pass or fail. Obviously, some people say pass or fail the home inspection to see if it's in the condition they think it's in. And more than likely it's not going to be, and they're going to find some stuff and they're going to ask for credit, and it may or may not work. But just like any sales thing, right? It's a numbers game. So help me out here. Who thinks that they could use something like this to either, number one, double end their listing, right? Or to get a for sale by owner sale? It's all on mute.
Yes.
It's all on mute unless you got something going on in the background. Was that Brenda that said yes?
I said yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes, I could do that.
Good, Faith. Good. All right.
So Jeremy, this is Dana. New person question here. So what I understood you to say, I was saving my question for the end just in case you answered it. This is when you identify a for sale by owner and you approach them and you're like, okay, I can help you sell your home. They're like, no, I want to sell it on my own. And you're telling them I can potentially bring you, a buyer quicker. But we're not telling them that we're posting it on the site. I guess I'm a little confused as to why we use they're saying they don't want to list with us. And then we're saying, okay, if I bring you a buyer, will you go with me? And then we're listing their property on this site.
Look at it this way. You're not really posting the property on this site. You're seeing if they're willing to make an offer. They're a buyer. They're an institutional buyer. Okay. So if they come through and it'd be like, okay, let's pretend you're Offerpad, Dana Thomas. Okay. So I come to you and I go, yo, Dana Thomas, I just got this great listing. Okay. You don't have to pay me anything to bring it to you. I'm gonna get the co-op from the listing agent, but I got this great listing. It just came on the market, super hot property. It's going for $540,000. It's recently renovated. I ran the rental comps. Like you probably get $3,000, $4,000 a month for it, $3,500, well, whatever, right? And I think this would be a great investment for you. What do you think? And you look it over, you're like, hey, send me the photos, send me the listing agreement, or send me the MLS sheet, not the listing agreement, sorry. Send me the MLS sheet, send me the photos, let me look it over. And you look it over and you're like, yeah, you know what? I think this is a good investment. I'm willing to pay $530,000 for it. Okay. I'll send over like kind of my verbal offer and let me know if the seller is willing to accept. So you send over that verbal offer, right? And then the seller goes, yeah, it looks good. Go ahead and write it up and send it over to me officially. Right. So they write it up, they send it over, you present it, right? I'm getting a little confusing, right? I would present it on your behalf and then you're my buyer, right? So in this case, Offerpad is my buyer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So, if
say for instance, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up, Dana. I'm sorry.
No. I think we're done with Dana. I was just trying to
we're done.
Across.
Yeah.
Right. I know how hard it is because I went through it coming down here from Illinois and we're really starting over, right? Completely starting over, not having that sphere of influence anymore. You're networking, you're meeting new people and this and that. You're keeping them in mind and keeping them in touch and, maybe going out to lunch or coffee with them and trying to generate again something out of nothing, right? I think is awesome. So this is a way where you can have an institutional buyer. And I mean, think about it. If you go out and talk to, numbers, right? Let's say you go out and talk to two for sale by owner. You get the appointment, you go out and meet with them in person, right? You go through and take some pictures and you get one per week, right? You're doing 2 a day. You're talking to 2 for sale by owner per day, doing 10 per week. All right. You're taking your weekends off. You're going, spending time with your family, this and that and the other thing, right? And then you get 1 under contract per week, right? And you're making, let's say on the low side, 3%. It's a $200,000 sale. I know you're like, Jeremy, where can we find a $200,000 home? I'm just saying for numbers sake, just for numbers sake, 200,000, right? 2 times 3 is 6, $6,000 a week. An extra $6,000 a week. Would that be okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
Or most people on this call, would that change your life?
Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Because I'm
So-
I'm doing that right now. I'm building my sphere of influence and I know that would definitely be beneficial.
Now, please don't misunderstand. This is not something I recommend for long-term growth or the only thing to focus on. And here's why, right? Because when you're building your database, okay, you're getting clients and closing with those people. John knows what I'm talking about. He's been doing this a long time. He's got a bunch of people in Virginia that are in his database, right? This is an institutional buyer. Unless you're keeping in touch with the for sale by owner, and that would be a good plan, right? You're keeping in touch with that for sale by owner, and then you're keeping in touch with the for sale by owner. Maybe you're helping them find a home, right? And then that's your new person that you're adding to your database, right? But most of the time in this situation, there's no person to add to your database, right? You got the institutional buyer. They're eventually going to go away, right? It might be 20 years from now. It might be 10 years from now. It might be 2 years from now. Who knows? But I don't want anybody to be like, yes, this is what I'm going to focus on. And the only thing I'm going to focus on, the main thing you should be focusing on, I don't want to say only, the main thing you should be focusing on is building your database. Okay, John's unmuted. I know he wants to add some wisdom from his beautiful mind there. Go ahead, beautiful mind, go.
Oh, I think Offerpad does something similar to this, but they pay 1%, and then they have address can't be, I mean, this is a great idea, but I'm sure it's going to get around fast, and you're going to have all the Keller Williams agents going on there. Every single for sale by owner comes up, they're going to do the same thing. I think Offerpad limits it to the address can only be put into their system once every 30 days.
Mhm.
So if the seller's already done that, then potentially that's done, or if other agents start doing it. But if do you need a listing agreement with the for sale by owner to present the contract to them? Let's say you go online and you fill this out. You don't need their permission to fill it out for their property address?
No, I've done it before. Because really, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get, just make it simple, right? If you had a buyer, let Offerpad, just John the buyer. If you had, well, that's confusing because your name's John too. Let's say Faith the buyer, okay? And you said, hey, Faith, I found this great property. It's listed well below market value. It's a for sale by sucker. I mean, for sale by owner, right? And you could get this property for a steal, okay? Especially coming in all cash, we could probably get it maybe another 2 to 3% below what they're even listed at, which they're already below market value. So what do you think? Right? Who do you need an agreement with for that? Offerpad is going to pay you. Now, you could go back then to the for sale by owner and say, hey, if I bring you this buyer, I want a 1% commission. Here's my for sale buyer, 2% or 3%, right? So you could even end up getting 6% off of something like this, right? The past 6 months, I've been doing work with a institutional investor out of California, right? Oh my God, I've learned so much, right? There's realtors, which I think this is horrible, that actual realtors are doing this. And there's unlicensed people that are just going around knocking on doors saying, hey, I'll buy your property all cash for $400,000. And knowing, they know it's worth $500,000. And then they'll be like, okay, give me 30 days to close on it. And I give you $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever to hold it, right? And then they're blasting it out to whoever they can find, putting it on Facebook and this and that and the other thing, taking pictures, be like, hey, this property for $450,000. And they make 50 grand, or they make 10 grand, or they make 20 grand, right? There's nothing illegal about what they're doing. They're just wholesaling it is what they call it, right? But realtors who do it, I'm just like, you're a terrible human being. Like, we have an oath, right? Put your client's needs ahead of your own. I guess it's not technically your client because you're not representing them. But in my opinion, like that oath is put the public's needs ahead of your own. Right? John, did you ask a question in the chat that I didn't get to?
It was kind of similar to what I just said. So
Okay.
what ties you to that offer? Say the for sale owner says, yeah, you can send me a cash offer. So you go into Offerpad or whichever one, Open Door, or whatever one we're talking about, and you put the property address in and your name. Does that tie you to that contract? If you send that to them by email, say you're getting paid, or they just call Open Door and say, hey, I'll accept it, and then you're out of the deal because there's nothing tying you because there's no listing agreement or anything mentioned in the contract.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. They won't know it's Offerpad because it's the offer name says Progressive. It doesn't say Offerpad.
So you suggest just sending it to them and then sign some kind of agreement if they want to move forward, or?
I would do a little more hands-on, personal, like, you know, again, if they're local, right? I'd be like, hey, let's meet in person so I can present the offer to you and break it down and answer any questions that you may have.
So
Okay.
Jeremy, how many times have you done this?
I've done it let's see. We had an offer. We got a problem. I think I've shown everyone at this point. Well, just to answer the question, I think 3 for sale by owner. There was 1 for sale by owner. I just got lazy, and yeah, but I think 4. 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 1 for sale by owner in Claremont that I went and took the pictures because there was just 1 exterior picture, right? And then I went there and took like interior pictures, and it was just like, you're delusional. Like, I don't know how you think you're gonna get 400,000 out of this. And then the next week they dropped to like 370 or something like that. And I probably, again, should have followed up on that, but I just didn't. So that one, I didn't actually present the offer. Like, I didn't present the whole thing to Offerpad. We had 1 for sale by owner, that the one I was showing you on Cameron. And again, we haven't pursued it with any regularity, right? There was 1 that came back and said, hey, bring me an offer for 400,000 and no, you can't see the house. And I'm like, what? And that's what I said. Have you ever bought a house that you haven't seen? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, why do you expect somebody else to do it? I just need 5 minutes to take some photos, but the photos were online. I was able to get it, and they were like 400,000. And I'm like, so I could have, I just chickened out on that one. Really, there's no good reason. They brought an offer for 373, right? And I could have just said, hey, 373 all cash. You choose the closing date. If you're moving locally, they'll pay for the move. And obviously this is something to stay in touch with those people. Like, hey, have you had any second thoughts about the offer for 373? Because maybe after 1 or 2 weeks on the market, they're like, no, 400, 400, 400. And then after a month or two, they're like, wait, would you say 373? All cash? And then they're willing to consider it, right? So again, we haven't pursued it with any regularity. We have that listing up in Deltona that's still on the market, surprisingly. We listed, like, the comps come out at 375, right? We're down to 340 now, still no takers. And then we did submit that listing to Offerpad, like, hey, what's the worst that can happen? And they said, sorry, we don't throw out lowball offers. We're not going to touch this one. I'm like, oh, interesting. I think they like more of the metropolitan areas, right? Like Deltona is like out there, right? It's off in Volusia County. For those of you who don't know, it's like an hour from the city, like 40 minutes to an hour from the city, right? So I think they like things that are easier and fit in that little box.
Two things. What's the areas in which they will accept an offer in? Say, for instance, if I have a house in Naples or something like that, would they accept an offer there? I mean, could I list it on there, or is just in the Orlando area?
No, I definitely know it's more than just the Orlando area. There is a HomeSmart agent that shall remain nameless that's doing this all around the state of Florida.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little bit
Okay.
different. I think maybe they started this on a smaller scale, and then they started bringing them so many transactions that they just kind of gave them. So they give them $5,000 per transaction, and then the listing agent charges the for sale by owner. I'm holding up 4 fingers here, 4%. So they're getting like 20 grand a pop, minimally.
Okay. And then the other question is, what's the highest that they'll go in prices for homes?
I don't know. I would play around with it, but I'm guessing because they're looking to rent, I would say this is more like entry level. Maybe I'm going to submit my listing on Greenmount to them to see if they'll give me an offer. But that's kind of a second step house, not a entry level, like it's 540, but it's in Soto. It's like southern downtown. So they might give me an offer for it. But even if I get an offer for 500 on that one, right, I can still say, hey, you guys, you got to hurry up and bring me your offer. I already have an all cash offer. So the seller's requesting highest and best.
Is this like a full-blown contract that they send you, or is it like a summary type thing that just goes over the high points?
It's a summary until you accept it, and then they'll write it up and send it over.
Okay.
Okay.
How long does the process take? I mean, how long does it take for you to get paid, basically?
You just get paid at closing like anything else. And they can close in
So,
as little as 2 weeks, or 15 days, or 90 days, right? Whatever the seller picks.
okay.
When it says, when you're going on there to fill that out, I think you did that already. It says agent or owner. You can click agent even though you have no signed listing agreement.
Right, because you are an agent.
You just have to be an agent, anybody's agent, not the owner, not the agent of the homeowner.
Right. And I get what you're saying about the whole semantics of the, in this case, you really don't represent either party, right? You're just, again, a transactional broker, which is what you're allowed to be with HomeSmart. You're just bringing two parties together. That's all.
Mhm.
Don't get caught up in the semantics.
But you need to at least contact them and say, hey, I mean, you can't just go on there and get an offer and then call them and say, hey, I got an offer in my hand. You need to talk to them and say, hey, I can get you cash offer. You're interested in that? And if they say yes, then you got some kind of,
I think everybody's
least-
interested in a cash offer, right? I would call up the for sale by owner, like, this is the procedure I would do. And you tweak it as needed, right? Tweak as necessary, right? I would call up the for sale by owner, say, hey, I represent an institutional buyer. Okay. We're looking to buy a property similar to yours and rent them out. Are you interested? Can I come by and preview the home? I need to take some pictures to upload to see if they're willing to offer on your home. That's exactly what you're doing. You're not lying about anything, right? Just because they don't know that the institutional buyer's Offerpad, that they could do this themselves. A lot of people don't know that. That's why you're the real estate professional, right? Because you know stuff like that.
Are they flipping them or are they going to rent them? Or we don't
I
know.
believe they're just renting them, because I haven't seen a listing with Offerpad. And in their verbiage, it says, it is our intention to rent this property. So if we cannot rent this property because of an HOA restriction or something like that, we're not going to move forward with the transaction.
Are they working with like BlackRock or any of those rental companies or?
I don't know. I'll look into it if that's important to you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for the information. I didn't know that we could do that. Never heard of them.
I'm glad that's what this is for, right?
Yep.
So look into it. Go on their website, right? On the left-hand side here, let me show you real quick again here. Share screen. Okay, so if you go to their website, just go to the home. The little hamburger thing on the side. Oh. There you go. Hamburger thing on the side. You click on that. Click on partners. Click on agents. Okay, put in the property address. So we got something in Naples, Brenda. Go ahead and try it, right? And see if it pops up. As far as I know, they buy pretty much
Right.
everything. Okay.
That's a good way to be, for investors for sure.
Mhm.
Those who like to invest. And I know we did something similar to that, but we were like the investors, but we had hard money lenders. So I guess we could have made like an LLC saying we were Offerpad and accepted the offer. So this is a good way. This is creative.
Is HomeSmart coming out with their own version of this, like Keller Williams and EXP has? I think somewhere I heard someone say that they were working on that. They were going to roll it out sometime this year.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me check into that and get back to you. As far as I know, because I remember, John, you brought me the what is this? And I thought it was what you're talking about just then. Like, HomeSmart would do like an all cash offer. But as far as I know, that doesn't. I mean, this is a way to do that, right? Because you can say, hey,
Right.
I work with a investor who does buy property, so if you sign with me, I'll bring you an offer through them. You're may not willing to accept it, but you know, I can do that for you. We got to wrap it up there. I got a closing I need to head off to, but anyone have any questions before we wrap?
Jeremy, this is Dana. I'm going to give you probably until next week, and then I'd like to sit down with you about some strategies surrounding this and some other things.
Okay.
So I can make sure that I'm doing it right.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds great.
All right.
And then
Thanks.
don't just learn from this, like do it. Call up 5, 10, 15 for sale by owners today and try to get an appointment with them. Go in, take pictures, upload it. Like just do it. See if it's
Okay.
that big of a pain in the ass. Just do it. You know, you'll muddle
Okay.
your way through. You'll call me up with questions. It's all good. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
Okay. You got that, John? You don't need all the answers. You just need to do it. Love you
Do
guys.
it.
Just do it.
Thanks. Thanks
Like
for your help.
Nike. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank
Good luck
you.
on your closing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck. Congratulations on your house.
Thank you. Thank you.